Can a machine really be creative? Can it have a truly original idea? I mean, you've probably seen the incredible images and stories AI can generate, and it's mind-blowing stuff. But is it real, honest-to-goodness creativity? Or is it just the world's most sophisticated parrot? So let's get into it. Is AI a creative genius or just a very, very clever copycat? You know, what's so wild is that this is not a new debate. Not at all. We have to go all the way back to 1843. Ada Lovelace, who many consider the very first computer programmer, took one look at an early computer and basically said, hold on a minute. She argued that a machine can follow any order you give it perfectly, but it can never truly originate something new. It can't have that spark. Okay, so let's fast forward almost 200 years, and, well, Ada Lovelace's idea is being seriously challenged. Today's AI can do things that feel deeply creative. We're talking about writing poetry that sounds like Shakespeare, composing music that actually makes you feel something, and creating images and videos so realistic you can't tell them apart from the real thing. And that leaves us with a really fascinating puzzle. So this is the big one, right? Are we witnessing the birth of true machine creativity, or is this all just a really, really convincing illusion? Let's peel back the layers and take a look at what's going on under the hood. Well, when you talk to the researchers who are digging into this, they're focused on a crucial difference. Are these models being genuinely creative, or are they just doing two things incredibly well? Powerful interpolation, which is kind of like a super sophisticated connect the dots, and having a perfect photographic memory of all the data they were trained on. So to get to the bottom of this, we need to look for the glitches in the matrix, the cracks in the code, those moments where the illusion of creativity starts to fall apart and you can see the machinery whirring behind the curtain. And here's the fundamental difference. For us humans, creativity comes from understanding context, from genuine invention, from feeling actual emotions. AI, it's playing a different game. It's a master of matching patterns, interpolating between data points, and making statistical guesses. The best analogy I've heard is this. It's not like a student who actually understands the subject. It's like a student who has perfectly memorized every single textbook and can remix all that information flawlessly, but without any real comprehension of what it means. And this isn't just a theory. You can see these limitations in practice. Researchers have pinpointed some really specific weak spots. For example, even the absolute best AI writers today still lag way behind expert human authors. These models get stuck when it comes to creative problem solving or abstract thinking. Their work can sometimes feel a bit samey, lacking real originality. And then there are the hallucinations, which is just a nice way of saying they make stuff up, or how they can lose the plot in a longer story. And here's the kicker. They've actually been caught just copying and pasting unique bits and pieces from their training data. Now, these might sound like academic problems, but they become a very big deal when this technology moves out of the lab and into our daily lives. So why does all of this really matter? Well, here's why. A tool that can convincingly imitate creativity but has zero understanding of truth is the perfect engine for disinformation. And don't just take my word for it. The World Economic Forum has flat out said that disinformation is the most severe risk the world is facing right now. Generative AI is like pouring gasoline on that fire, making it incredibly cheap and easy to churn out fake content that looks completely real. And this is not a future problem. It's happening right now. We're already seeing bad actors trying to use AI to manipulate political discussions in democracies all over the world. We've seen documented cases in countries like France and Denmark, where AI-generated content was created specifically to try and sway public opinion. To make it even more real for you, just look at some recent examples from the UK. An audio deepfake of the Labour leader Keir Starmer started circulating that made it sound like he was screaming at his staff. Totally fake. Another one popped up of London's mayor Sadiq Khan supposedly announcing he was postponing Remembrance Day. Again, completely fabricated. These are targeted, malicious fakes built to do one thing: make people angry and erode trust. And it's no surprise that the public is really worried about this. A huge number, 81% of citizens in the EU, agree that fake news and false information are a major problem for democracy. People can feel that something is wrong with our information environment, and they understand the threat. And the problem goes way beyond politics. Think about public services. Here, AI is a classic double-edged sword. The promise is amazing, right?
automate routine tasks, make services way more efficient. But the peril is that all those same problems we just talked about, the fact they can be biased, make stuff up, and act like a total black box, create huge risks. How can you protect someone's fundamental rights when the system making the decision is impossible to understand?
Okay, so the threat is obvious, and the stakes could not be higher. That brings us to the next big question. What is anyone actually doing about it? Let's take a look at how governments are trying to build some digital guardrails for this new world. Right now, there is a global race to regulate this technology. The European Union is really leading the pack here. First, there's the Digital Services Act, which puts the responsibility on big platforms like TikTok and Meta to get a handle on the spread of harmful content. And then you have the big one, the 2024 EU AI Act. This is the world's first major comprehensive law for AI, and it's all about making sure these systems are safe, transparent, and that there's always a human in control. On top of that, you've got individual countries passing their own laws to fight back, too. But it's not just about rules and regulations. It's also about building the technology itself. Nations are waking up to this idea of digital sovereignty. Basically, they don't want to be completely reliant on foreign tech companies. So, countries like Poland and Spain are now building their very own large language models. At the same time, you've got economic giants like Germany and Japan investing billions with a B into their own national supercomputers. For them, this isn't just about technology, it's about national security.
So we've looked at AI's limits, the real-world dangers, and the race to put up some guardrails. All of this forces us to ask some pretty profound questions about what our future living alongside these tools is actually going to look like.
I mean, just take copyright law. It's a complete mess right now. If an AI creates a beautiful piece of art, who's the author? Is it the company that built the model? Is it the person who typed in the prompt? Or, and this is where things get really weird, could the AI itself be considered the author? Our laws were just not designed for this question. And the legal chaos doesn't stop there. It goes right to the heart of how these models are trained. They learn by absorbing just unimaginable amounts of information from the internet, and a lot of that is copyrighted. So is that legal? Well, in the US, it might be okay under fair use, as long as the AI creates something new. The EU has a different rule. It's allowed for research, but the original creator can opt out. It's a legal gray area the size of the entire internet.
You know, when you put this all together, it really starts to feel like we've been asking the wrong question this whole time. The debate is shifting. It's moving away from the philosophical question of, can a machine be creative, and toward a much more practical, much more urgent question. How do we, as a society, build a future with tools that are powerful enough to perfectly simulate creativity? Because that's the world we're living in now. Ultimately, these models are just a reflection of us. They're trained on the sum total of human knowledge, our culture, our art, and yes, all of our biases and all of our falsehoods too. They learn from the world that we have made. So the final question isn't really about the AI at all. It's about us. It learns from our world. What do we want it to create?